A Nimitz-class aircraft carrier displaces over 100,000 tons, carries 90 aircraft, houses 5,000 crew, and operates as floating airbase projecting American power across oceans. This is every aircraft, weapon system, defensive measure, and critical equipment that makes these ships the most powerful vessels ever built. F-18E Super Hornet, the single-seat strike fighter forming the backbone of carrier air wings, with over 400 operational across the fleet. Armed with 20 cannon, 9 hardpoints carrying bombs, missiles, and fuel tanks, these conduct air superiority, strike missions, and fleet defense. Maximum speed Mach 1.8. Combat radius 450 miles. With standard loadout, advanced radar detecting targets. Beyond 100 miles. FA-18F Super Hornet. The two-seat variant with weapons systems officer managing targeting during complex missions requiring coordination. Maintains same armament and performance as E model, but provides enhanced capability for strike coordination and electronic attack. When Growlers unavailable. F-35C Lightning II. The carrier variant of 5th-generation stealth fighter with larger wings and reinforced landing gear for carrier operations. Internal weapons bays carry AIM-120 missiles and 2 000-pound bombs while maintaining stealth. Advanced sensors provide 360-degree awareness no previous fighter matched. Over 100 operational across carrier air wings, replacing older Hornets. E-2D Advanced Hawkeye. The airborne early warning aircraft with rotating radar dome, detecting aircraft, missiles, and ships at ranges exceeding 300 miles. 4 crew operate radar, communications, and battle management directing carrier air wing operations. Twin turboprop engines provide 5-hour endurance orbiting at distance from carrier. EA-18G Growler. The electronic warfare variant of Super Hornet jamming enemy radar and communications while carrying anti-radiation missiles destroying radar sites. ALQ-99 jamming pods under wings disrupt enemy air defenses, allowing strike packages to penetrate defended airspace. 5. Crew squadrons operate per carrier air wing. E-2C Hawkeye. The earlier airborne early warning variant still operational on some carriers during transition to E-2D fleet. Provides similar radar coverage with older processing systems. MH-60R Seahawk. The multi-mission helicopter, conducting anti-submarine warfare, anti-surface warfare, search and rescue, and logistics. Dipping sonar detects submarines, radar and infrared sensors track surface ships, torpedoes and missiles engage threats. Each carrier embarks multiple for operations around strike group. MH-60S Seahawk. The utility variant conducting vertical replenishment, mine countermeasures, search and rescue, and special warfare support. External cargo hook lifts supplies from replenishment ships to carrier deck. C-2A Greyhound. The carrier onboard delivery aircraft transporting personnel, mail, and cargo from shore bases to carriers at sea. Twin turboprop engines, folding wings for carrier storage, rear cargo ramp for loading. CMV-22B Osprey. The tilt-rotor aircraft replacing C-2 Greyhound for carrier delivery missions with greater range speed and cargo capacity. Vertical takeoff eliminates catapult requirement. AIM-120D AMRAM. The active radar air-to-air missile carried by F/A-18s and F-35Cs engaging enemy aircraft beyond visual range. Launch from Super Hornet at high altitude. Missile climbs using onboard rocket. Activates radar guiding to target without further input from launching aircraft. Range exceeds 100 miles in latest variants with two-way data link allowing mid-course updates. AIM-9X Sidewinder Block 2. The infrared homing short-range missile for close air combat, with extreme off-bore sight capability. Pilots aim using helmet-mounted sight. Missile homes on target heat signature. Thrust vectoring enables kills at angles previous missiles couldn't achieve. AGM-88E ARAGM. The anti-radiation missile homing on enemy radar emissions carried by Growlers for suppression of enemy air defenses. GPS and millimeter wave radar provide additional guidance when radar shut down attempting to avoid destruction. AGM-154 CJSO. The glide bomb releasing from aircraft at standoff range, extending wings, gliding to target using GPS and infrared terminal guidance. Internal warhead destroys ships, bunkers, and ground targets from ranges exceeding 70 miles. AGM-84D Harpoon. The anti-ship missile launching from Super Hornets, engaging enemy ships at ranges to 70 miles. Sea-skimming flight profile maintains low altitude, avoiding radar detection until final approach. GBU-31 JDAM. The 2 000-pound GPS-guided bomb for heavy strikes against buildings, bunkers, and hardened targets. Strap-on GPS guidance kit converts unguided bombs to precision weapons accurate within meters. GBU-38 JDAM. The 500-pound precision bomb for smaller targets, requiring less explosive force. Same GPS guidance as larger variants in compact package. GBU-53B Stormbreaker. The smart bomb with tri-mode seeker, combining radar, infrared, and laser guidance for engaging moving targets including ships and vehicles. Wings extend range to 70 miles, allowing standoff employment. GBU-12 Pave Away 2. The laser-guided 500-pound bomb for precision strikes requiring terminal guidance. Aircraft or ground forces illuminate target with laser, bomb homes, unreflected energy. Mark 82 Bomb. The unguided 500-pound bomb for area targets where precision unnecessary. Thousands stored in carrier magazines for various missions. Mark 83 Bomb. The 1,000-pound unguided bomb for medium targets. Mark 84 Bomb. The 2,000-pound unguided bomb for heavy targets and bunkers. AGM-65 Maverick. The air-to-ground missile with infrared or laser guidance for attacking tanks, ships, and structures. Pilot locks missile on target before launch. Missile guides autonomously. M61A2 Vulcan Cannon. The 20 rotary cannon mounted in nose of Super Hornets and F-35Cs firing 6,000 rounds per minute. Each aircraft carries 412 rounds for gun engagements and ground strafing. RIM-116 Ram Block 2. The Rolling Airframe Missile providing close-in defense against anti-ship missiles penetrating outer defensive layers. Mounts on sponsons, port, and starboard sides of carrier. 21 missile launcher tracks incoming threats using infrared and radar. Launches missiles intercepting threats in final seconds, before impact. RIM-162 ESSM. The evolved Sea Sparrow missile quad packed in vertical launch cells and escorting cruisers and destroyers defending carrier from aircraft and missiles. Active radar seeker guides to targets at medium ranges. Phalanx CIWS Block 1B. The close-in weapon system mounting 20 rotary cannon firing 4,500 rounds per minute as final defense against missiles evading other systems. Autonomous radar tracks threats. Gun swivels engaging targets. High explosive incendiary rounds destroy incoming missiles. 3 mounts positioned around carrier for overlapping coverage. SPS-48E radar. The three-dimensional air search radar detecting aircraft and missiles at long ranges. Rotating antenna provides 360-degree coverage around carrier. ANSPS-49V. 8 radar. The two-dimensional air search radar providing long-range detection complementing SPS-48. ANSPS-67V. 3 radar. The surface search radar detecting ships and low-flying aircraft at medium ranges. Used for navigation and surface surveillance, SPQ-9B radar. The trackwall scan radar providing horizon search and fire control for gun systems. Detects low-flying cruise missiles and surface threats. And /SLQ-32V-4. The electronic warfare suite detecting, identifying, and jamming enemy radar. Passive sensors detect radar emissions revealing enemy positions. Active jammers disrupt enemy targeting. ANSLQ. 25 Nixie. The torpedo decoy towed behind carrier, creating acoustic signature drawing torpedoes away from actual ship. Fiber optic cable connects decoy to ship allowing control. Mark 36 SRBOC. The super rapid blooming off-board chaff launcher, creating radar false targets. Rockets deploy chaff clouds that appear as ships on enemy radar. Nulka decoy. The hovering rocket creating radar signature simulating ship, drawing anti-ship missiles away from carrier. Launcher fires rocket that hovers using thrust while transmitting signals. C-13. 1 steam catapult. The system launching aircraft from flight deck to flying speed in 2 seconds. 4 catapults on Nimitz carriers positioned at bow and angled deck, each capable of launching 3 5-ton aircraft to 165 miles per hour. Steam from nuclear reactors powers pistons pulling launch shuttle connected to aircraft. C-13. 2 steam catapult. The improved variant on newer Nimitz carriers with enhanced capability. Mark 7 Mod 3. Arresting gear. The system catching landing aircraft, with tailhook engaging steel cables stretched across deck. 4 cables provide backup if aircraft misses first. Hydraulic systems absorb energy, bringing aircraft from 150 miles per hour to stop in 300 feet. Deck edge elevator. The 4 aircraft elevators moving planes between flight deck and hangar deck below, each capable of lifting 2 fighters simultaneously, positioned on deck edges to avoid obstructing flight operations. Jet blast deflector. The steel panels rising behind aircraft during catapult launch, deflecting engine exhaust upward, preventing damage to aircraft positioned behind. Optical landing system. The precision approach system using lights providing glide slope information to pilots during landing. Fresnel lens creates light pattern showing aircraft position relative to proper approach angle. A 4W nuclear reactor. The 2 Westinghouse reactors powering Nimitz-class carriers, generating 550 megawatts total. Nuclear fuel requires refueling every 25 years, allowing virtually unlimited range. Steam turbine propulsion. The 4 steam turbines driven by nuclear reactor steam turning. 4 propeller shafts generating 260,000 horsepower total. Maximum speed exceeds 30 knots though actual top speed classified. ANSQQ-89V-15. The integrated anti-submarine warfare system, combining hull sonar, processing, and weapons control. Detects submarines threatening carrier strike group. WWII sonar, the bow-mounted active passive sonar on escorting destroyers protecting carrier from submarine threats. Mark 45 5-inch gun, the naval gun on escorting destroyers and cruisers providing surface fire support and anti-aircraft capability defending carrier. ANSPY 1D radar, the Aegis phased array radar on Ticonderoga cruisers and Burke destroyers forming outer defensive ring around carrier. Tracks hundreds of targets simultaneously directing SM-6 missiles. MEX-41 vertical launch system, the missile cells on escorting ships carrying SM-6, SM-3, SM-2, ESSM, and Tomahawk missiles, defending carrier and striking targets. Flight deck, the 4.5-acre armored steel surface serving as runway and aircraft parking. Angled deck allows simultaneous launch and recovery operations, arresting gear positioned on centerline, catapults at bow and angled deck. Hangar deck, the enclosed space below flight deck storing aircraft during maintenance and bad weather. 3 aircraft elevators move planes between decks, repair facilities and spare parts storage fill compartments. Island superstructure, the tower on starboard side housing bridge, flight control, air operations and radar equipment. Primary flight control on top level manages flight deck operations, bridge navigates ship, combat direction center coordinates defensive operations. Aircraft fuel tanks, the 3 million gallons of JP5 jet fuel stored in armored tanks throughout ship. Multiple fueling stations on flight deck allow simultaneous refueling of numerous aircraft. Aviation ordnance magazines, the armored compartments storing thousands of bombs, missiles, and ammunition throughout ship below waterline. Weapons elevators transport ordnance from magazines to flight deck. Galley and mess facilities, the kitchens preparing 18,000 meals daily feeding 5,000 crew. Multiple mess decks provide eating areas. Berthing compartments, the sleeping quarters with bunks stacked 3 high housing crew. Officers and senior enlisted have individual staterooms. Junior sailors share bunk rooms. The full hospital with operating rooms, intensive care, medical wards, and dental clinics staffed by doctors, nurses, and corpsmen. Capability to handle mass casualties from combat or accidents. Machine shops, the repair facilities with lathes, mills, welders, and tools manufacturing parts and repairing equipment. Enables carrier to conduct repairs without returning to port. Desalination plants, the reverse osmosis systems producing 400,000 gallons freshwater daily from seawater. Provides drinking water, showers, and equipment cooling. The backup power generators providing electricity if nuclear reactors shut down. 4 generators ensure critical systems remain operational. Damage control equipment, the firefighting gear, repair materials, and emergency systems throughout ship. Crew trained to contain flooding, fight fires, and repair battle damage. Countermeasure washdown system, the saltwater sprinklers covering ship exterior washing off chemical or biological contamination. Aircraft crash and salvage crane, the heavy crane removing damaged aircraft from flight deck. Positioned on deck edge to clear wrecks preventing flight operations disruption. Auxiliary machinery rooms, the spaces housing pumps, air conditioning, hydraulics, and support equipment. Distributed throughout ship for redundancy. Ammunition handling equipment, the hoists, conveyors, and lifts moving ordnance from magazines to aircraft. Specialized carts and dollies transport weapons on flight deck. Tow tractors, the specialized vehicles moving aircraft around flight deck and hangar. Small profile operates in confined spaces. Aircraft maintenance equipment, the diagnostic computers, tools, and support gear for repairing fighters and helicopters. Mobile repair stations positioned throughout hangar. Catapult maintenance platforms, the below-deck spaces accessing catapult machinery for inspection and repair. ANSPN 46 radar, the precision approach radar guiding aircraft during landing in poor visibility. SPEN 43C radar, the air traffic control radar managing aircraft. A route carrier during launch and recovery. TACAN navigation system, the tactical air navigation transmitter, broadcasting bearing and range information, allowing aircraft to navigate to carrier. AN-URN 2.5 TACAM, the shipboard transmitter for aircraft navigation. Link 16 Daylink, the secure tactical network connecting carrier with escorting ships, aircraft, and command centers. Real-time data sharing coordinates. Satellite communications, the multiple satellite terminals providing worldwide communications for command and control. IFF transponder, the identification friend or foe system distinguishing friendly aircraft from threats. VHH/AF radios, the multiple radio systems for air traffic control, tactical communications, and ship-to-ship coordination. Integrated bridge system, the digital navigation displays replacing traditional charts and plotting boards. GPS, radar, and ship systems integrated in touchscreen displays. Automated carrier landing system, the computer-assisted landing aid providing precision guidance during night and weather landings. Arresting gear cross-deck pendant, the steel cable stretched across deck for tailhook engagement. Each cable rated for specific weight aircraft. Jet blast deflector hydraulics, the system raising and lowering blast deflectors between launches. Catapult shuttle, the launch mechanism connecting to aircraft nose gear. accelerated by steam piston pulling aircraft forward. Holdback bar, the restraint holding aircraft stationary during catapult tension buildup before release. Deck tractors, the specialized vehicles towing aircraft on deck and in hangar. Fire crash crews, the specially trained firefighters with crash vehicles positioned on flight deck during launch and recovery operations. Protective suits, foam trucks, and rescue equipment respond to crashes within seconds. Flight deck crews, the color-coded personnel operating on deck during flight operations. Purple fuel handlers, red ordnance handlers, yellow aircraft directors, blue tractor operators, green catapult and arresting gear crews, brown plane captains, white safety and medical personnel. Air wing complement, the 2,500 aviation personnel including pilots, maintenance crews, ordnance handlers, and support staff, organized into squadrons operating specific aircraft types. Ships company, the 2,500 sailors operating carrier including engineering, navigation, weapons, supply, and administration. Maintain ship systems enabling air operations. Nuclear propulsion personnel, the specially trained sailors operating reactors and propulsion systems. Extensive training and security clearances required. Supply department, the logistics personnel managing food, parts, supplies, and fuel. Stores millions of items supporting extended deployments. Engineering department, the sailors maintaining propulsion, electrical, damage control, and auxiliary systems. ANASSQ-6. Tusanobui, the acoustic sensors deployed from MH-60 are helicopters detecting submarines threatening carrier. Mark 54. Torpedo, the lightweight anti-submarine torpedo carried by helicopters engaging submarine contacts. ALE. 47 countermeasures, the chaff and flare dispensers on aircraft protecting from missiles. Chaff creates radar false targets. Flares decoy heat-seeking missiles. ALQ-214 jammer, the radio frequency countermeasures on Super Hornets jamming enemy radar-guided missiles. AGM-158 CLRASM, the long-range anti-ship missile entering service on Super Hornets providing standoff capability against enemy ships. AAQ-33 sniper pod, the targeting pod on strike fighters providing infrared detection and laser designation for precision weapons. And SQ-228 ATFLR, the advanced targeting forward-looking infrared pod providing targeting capability at extended ranges. Ammunition magazines, the armored storage throughout ship holding thousands of tons of ordnance, including bombs, missiles, cannon rounds, and pyrotechnics. Fuel systems, the pumps, pipes, and controls distributing jet fuel throughout ship-to-deck fueling stations and aircraft being serviced in hangar. Bomb assembly areas, the ordnance assembly spaces where weapons receive fuses, guidance kits, and final preparation before loading on aircraft. Elevators and hoists, the systems moving bombs and missiles from magazines to flight deck. Dedicated weapons elevators positioned for efficient ordnance flow. ANSPY. 6 radar, the next-generation air defense radar being installed on newest burp destroyers escorting carriers. 30 times more sensitive than SPY. 1 detecting smaller threats at greater ranges. Cooperative engagement capability, the sensor networking system sharing radar tracks between ships and aircraft. Creates composite air picture improving defensive coordination. Naval integrated fire control, the system integrating all defensive weapons across carrier strike group creating layered defense.